Hey, this is Dennis with Cyberkraft. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be making a tier list of the cybersecurity certifications. Now, these are cybersecurity certifications that are very common in the industry. I picked a group of certifications mostly focused on cybersecurity, and I tried to pick some from each of the training vendors, each of the major names in cybersecurity. So we have some from EC Council, we got some from AWS, we got CompTIA, IC2, and then we have some other ones, and we also have ISACA. So these are all available. And I'm trying to pick the certifications that are most commonly seen in job listings. And that's going to be primarily what I rank these on, how useful these certifications are for your career. So how useful they are from a career standpoint, how you're going to advance your career with these certifications, if they're worth pursuing. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the cost of the certifications, the cost of the exam, or the cost of the level of preparation you need to obtain these certifications. That's very important. Some certifications may be very useful, but they also may be very cost prohibitive. So there's a balance there. And some might be, no cost, but they're completely useless. So there's a couple. We're going to look at each of these. And I'm interested to see if you disagree with anything I say here. Please leave a comment or leave a chat here and tell me what I did wrong or how I should adjust it. I'm happy to hear your thoughts as well. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to start from left to right. I'm going to start with AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. Now I'd say this is a pretty decent certification. I wonder if it's between A and B tier in my mind. I wouldn't put it at S tier because you have to recertify on these. You have to recertify every 2 years. So I'm going to go ahead and put AWS Cloud Practitioner in B tier. I think that makes sense. It's a solid certification, often requested in a cloud-specific role. The one thing is it only presents your knowledge or displays your knowledge when it comes to AWS systems. And AWS takes up about 40% of the market share when it comes to cloud systems. Azure takes up the other 40%. Then there's 10% for maybe Google Cloud and some others. Mostly it's AWS and Azure. If you go the AWS route, you don't necessarily qualify yourself for the Azure role. So while it is useful, and a lot of your organizations, not most, use AWS, I don't think it's necessarily at that A or S tier because you do have to recertify every 2 years. So let's take a look. CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker. This has some controversy around it, but I think this is a solid certification, honestly, because it is requested and it has a great reputation. Now, a lot of these, like a great reputation and a great deal of demand in the industry, I'd say. There's some controversy because for the exam is a multiple choice exam, but it's an ethical hacking certification. So people question whether you really understand ethical hacking, and how could you understand ethical hacking by taking just a multiple choice test. Now that's a fair point, though there are some qualifying differences. First, EC Council does a great job of promoting this certification, and because of that, over the years, it has become one of the most demanded penetration testing certifications. So for roles that are maybe not necessarily penetration testing roles, but cybersecurity roles, it looks fantastic. If you're a cyber practitioner and you want to learn ethical hacking, you can get your CEH, and it really does provide that level of prestige that you know what you're talking about from the red team side on your resume. It's listed on the same line as CISA and SISM when it comes to senior level certs. It's seen as a senior level certification. It's not too difficult to acquire either. So I do think it's a very good level certification. And if you go through an EC Council training partner like Cyberkraft, or if you get the official EC Council labs, the labs are excellent for the CEH, even though you don't necessarily have to do a practical portion for the CEH. The other thing that's really good is there's the CEH Master certification, which is an additional certification that you can achieve that has a practical test. So you can either take the CEH and just get your CEH certification, and then later you can go through and get your CEH Master. So because of those, I think the CEH is a high-quality A-tier certification. CND, Certified Network Defender. This is kind of EC Council's answer to Security Plus. Honestly, I kind of think this is a C-tier certification. This one, it provides a lot of good information and the labs are very good in the CND. The only problem is it's trying to compete with Security Plus, and it's way more costly than Security Plus. So it's a lot more costly, and it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder than Security Plus. So it's not really a good entry-level cert for cybersecurity, but it's positioning itself as an entry-level cert. And I don't see this one required on many job requirements or in job descriptions. So I don't think it's that good of a cert. I mean, the idea behind it is good, but it needs some time to become recognized, or it needs some changes to make it easier, because right now it's too difficult, too expensive for where it's at. All right, we have a GIAC Certified Incident Handler. This is a good certification, I'd say. I'd give it a solid B tier. This one is seen sometimes in job descriptions. It does teach you quite a bit. It is very expensive. I mean, the GIAC certification is going to be very expensive, but you do get to learn quite a bit when it comes to incident response, and it's very focused on that incident response piece, which is important for a cyber practitioner or a cybersecurity analyst, somebody in the blue team. So I do think it's a good, solid certification. And you'll notice that I'm not as keen to put things as like S tier. You know, I think B's pretty good. So I don't know. Some people, they kind of, when they make these tier lists, they put everything in S tier, A tier. I'm going to be more kind of a bell curve, or more of a should kind of look like this pyramid by the time I'm done. We'll see. So I do think it's a solid certification, but it is a little expensive for what it does, but it is pretty good. Security Essentials from GIAC, that's a good certification too. I think I'd put that also in B tier. It is a little expensive for what it does. It tries to compete again with Security Plus. It's kind of in the same boat as CND, but I see this one listed more often in job descriptions. So it's asked for, and it's listed as, hey, if we have a certification requirement in a job description, a lot of times you'll see that Security Essentials more so than you would see CND. Let's see, Google Cybersecurity Certificate. Okay, now I have thoughts on this. From a career standpoint, this one would be a D tier certification. This will do nothing for your cybersecurity career. Employers don't care that you have the Google Cybersecurity Certificate. What it does do, and I do appreciate it, is because it's low cost, you can basically get it for free. It does provide a lot of people with an introduction to cybersecurity. So I think that's a valuable skill, but from a career standpoint, it's not going to help you. And I think for all the good it does in introducing people to cybersecurity, it also misleads a lot of people into thinking that they can get that certification and then go get a cybersecurity job. And if you look at the ads that Google runs, like the little video ads saying, oh, I got my Google cybersecurity certification, then I was able to work at Google. Well, there was a reason they gave a handful of people jobs when they got the Google cybersecurity certification, is so they can make those ads and say, oh, hey, these people got their Google cybersecurity certification and now they're working cybersecurity for Google. That's probably what happened. But for anybody else, it's not going to be very helpful. So it's really a D tier certification, I got to say. OSCP. Now this is interesting. It's very expensive and this one takes a lot of time commitment because the exam is brutal. Okay. The exam is more than a day long. It is asked for in a lot of certifications. It's more like a senior level pen. This is like a really high level penetration testing certification. So I'm going to put it B tier because it's very expensive. It takes a lot of work to get. Not a whole lot of people are going to be able to get that OSCP. But once you do, you are really well set up for most penetration testing jobs. So I think that's really good. It's just more specialized. It's a little more specialized. So I'd say that B tier would be a good fit for that. For most people, I don't recommend getting your OSCP unless you're specifically going for pen testing jobs. All right, CISA Plus. CISA Plus is a solid certification, I'd say. It really does help provide, I'd say this is probably an A tier certification. It's very relevant because it teaches you cybersecurity analyst job roles. It teaches you how to do incident response, how to schedule automations, how to do SOAR playbooks, how to work with SEMs, how to do reporting. Basically, most jobs are cybersecurity analyst jobs, and the Cybersecurity Analyst Plus is a great certification to teach you all of those roles. So I'd say that would be A-tier certification for sure. Security Plus. This is a solid one. I have to go S-tier for Security Plus. And the reason is it's required for so many jobs out there. It's one that hiring managers are going to expect to see on your resume, is that CompTIA Security Plus. Is it possible to get a job with just a Security Plus? It is, but it's very difficult with just a Security Plus. But you will need the Security Plus. So you got to get that Security Plus at some point. And then I do recommend anybody starting in the field with no experience to get at least 3 certifications to start, Security Plus being one of them. It is very good because it's listed everywhere. Most jobs will see Security Plus listed in there somewhere. And it does do a really nice job of teaching the foundations of cybersecurity. If you go through the official CompTIA materials, you get a little bit of everything. You get a little bit of pen testing. You get a little bit of vulnerability management. You get setting up devices, looking and analyzing at malware. So it's been around a long time for good reason. It's the best entry-level certifications for cybersecurity, for sure. Pentest Plus is a really good one. It's a competitor to CEH. I'd say this one is probably B-tier. B-tier certification, very good, especially with the new version. New version really helped improve this pen test. So the 003 version is really good. Not as requested as CEH, though. So I can't put it in A-tier, but the materials for it are excellent. So I do think that's very good. And then Security X. This is supposed to be CompTIA's capstone level certification. I think I put this as B-tier also. This is a very solid certification. It does pull from Cloud Plus, cloud security, penetration testing, incident response, cybersecurity analyst positions, but it's more that capstone. I can't stand the name Security X because people confuse it with Security Plus. It's a marketing ploy by CompTIA to say that, well, if someone got their Security Plus, then they would eventually want to get their Security X because now it has an X. Okay, that's X for expert. It used to be CASP. This used to be Certified Advanced Security Practitioner, which I think was a fine name, honestly. The only problem was there's another certification also named CASP, not related to cybersecurity. I do think it's a solid certification, though. If you get your Security X, this is great for people who want to be practitioners. They want to be working with the tools. They don't want to not necessarily go into the management route. They want to just be operative. So I think Security X is still solid B-tier certification. The PJPT. This is a junior penetration tester cert. Now, while the certification has decent fundamentals to it, I hardly ever see this listed in job descriptions. So I got to put this down at like a C tier because I really don't see this one too often. It doesn't have that reputation that hiring manager is going to put that onto a job listing. So while the information in the certification and how it tests you is good, it's just doesn't have that reputation yet to propel your career. So if you put that in your resume, a hiring manager might look at that and say, I don't know what that means, unless maybe they're specifically for pen testing. But at that point, they're going to expect to see a higher level pen testing certification there on your resume if you're going for a pen testing role. Now, certified BlueTeam level 2. It kind of falls in the same boat. It's a really good certification. I think this one has really good training around it, but it just doesn't have that level of prestige that the other ones do. So I got to put that one down at C tier. SSCP. Okay, now we got the ISC2. We had CompTIA. We had ISC2 and ISACA. These are big boy organizations. SSCP, been around a long time. It's a pretty good certification. I got to put it at B tier, I think. SSCP it's a solid cert. It does teach you more of the fundamentals, more of the basics. It's a little expensive for what it does, but it does, if you're going down the IC2 route, it does teach you a great deal. Now, the thing with the ISC2 certifications, they're all multiple choice tests, but they have a lot of prestige in the industry, so you often see them. So I think SSCP would be a solid B tier. CISSP, that has to go to S tier. This is a game-changing certification for your career. If you want to advance your career, you get your CISSP. That's going to really change how hiring managers look at you and jobs that you're qualified for. So I think that's an excellent certification. CCSP. This used to be much higher ranked. I would rank this much higher like 4 years ago. But it just has not been as popular. It's a very good certification to teach you cloud security. But it's not nearly, it doesn't carry nearly the same level of desire as it used to with hiring managers. So I think this would be a good B tier cert also. Yeah. It's a great certification to teach you from a managerial or a risk management standpoint the fundamentals of cloud security and how you would choose from a risk management standpoint to approach cloud. But it doesn't really, it's not as in demand as it used to be. There was a period of time where ISC2 was really pushing for the CCSP to be the next big cloud cert, and they never really got it going. One of the main reasons is I think it's a multiple choice test. There's no real practical application there. So it's more vendor neutral, which has advantages, but also makes it so that you can't be sure if your prospects who have that cert know what they're doing when it comes to a cloud. So for a senior manager, this is a good certification to understand cloud, I'd say. SISM, and excuse my image sizes, but the SISM, Certified Information Security Manager, this is from ISACA. This is an excellent certification, I have to say. I think I put this at high A or S. I think I put this at S tier. If you want to get into the management tract in cybersecurity, you're going to want to get your SISM. It's a fantastic certification. You're going to need to have years of experience in a management or leadership role to get your SISM. And the number of years depend. It's 5 years, but you can substitute years of different things, like Security Plus can be counted for a year. Other things can be counted for a year. So you can get that number down. If you ever have questions on what you could qualify or how you could qualify for a SISM, if you have enough experience, just contact us at Cyberkraft. We'll help you out. We'll take a look at your resume and see if you qualify. But I think this is a fantastic certification if you're trying to get into those CISO roles, those senior management roles in cybersecurity. This is the one that you want to get. CISA, Certified Information Systems Auditor. This has to be, I think, A tier. This would be A tier. CISA is the gold standard auditing certification. If you want to become a cybersecurity auditor, you want to work with financial controls, or you want to perform any sort of assessment or authorization, that is the certification you want to get. It's an excellent certification, often required. You'll see this listed on job descriptions, just like SISM, very often. And if you want to work for those high-priced consulting companies in the financial industry or healthcare industry, doing cyber controls, working with Sarbanes-Oxley or SOC reports, or any sort of HIPAA compliance, CISA is where it's at. Now, CRISK. This one's becoming a lot more popular. This one's great for GRC roles, governance, risk, and compliance. So it's going to have to go in G tier for governance, risk, compliance. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's a solid B tier. I think it's a solid B tier certification. It's very good. Sometimes you'll see that listed as a requirement. And it does teach you a great deal for risk managers. If you're looking at a risk management role or a governance, risk, and compliance role, the CRISK is your go-to. Okay, so I wasn't quite sure how I was going to rank these before I started, but I like what I'm looking at right now. I think that's a solid representation of how I think these certifications are. And if you disagree, please leave me a comment. I want to see what you guys think about this, if this is useful. And if you have any questions about these certifications, or you're looking for these certifications, we do training on most of these certifications here at Cyberkraft. So go to cyberkrafttraining.com. We have official self-paced training, instructor-led classes, exam vouchers, everything you need to get certified. But I appreciate everybody watching the video. Thank you so much. Have a great day.